Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Guys, I have been running so much. I was thinking in my head when I was talking, I'm like, is it Tuesday? I think it is. So it is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. It is March the 14th, guys. Daylight savings time has already happened, and we've lost that hour of sleep. So I've been tired. I've been sleepy. I've been waking up early. So today is an exciting day for me. This is episode 5 of Talking with Ty, and I have none other than my girl. This girl got so much going on. Not only is she fly, but she has so much going on, guys. I have Vanessa Grayson with Lincoln Properties on with me today. Vanessa is from Kansas City. So before I go any further, we want to shout out Kansas City for bringing it home for the Super Bowl. So if you are anything like Kansas City, Vanessa, then you're the underdog. And I remember when I was just teaching for the supplier class in Kansas City, and this was right before the Super Bowl happened. And I was talking to Debbie. And I said, Debbie, I'm riding with Kansas City. And she's like, Ty, I don't know if we're going to win. I said, hey, I always ride with the underdog, sis. And you guys pulled it off. So to see you coming out of Kansas City, there's some great things coming out of Kansas City this year. So Vanessa Grayson, welcome to Talking with Ty. We are super excited to have you on today. Thank you for logging in a little bit early. And for you guys out there that are listening, thank you for tuning in early with us. So Vanessa, without further ado, please tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here with you today. I feel like we've been building up for this. Like we have always said, like, let's go. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So I'm super excited to be sitting with you today. But like you said, my name is Vanessa Grayson. I'm a business manager with Lincoln Property Company here in Kansas City. I currently oversee a 400 unit opportunity asset here in the Kansas City Northland. And I've been in the industry for only 8 years. Sometimes it's hard to kind of wrap my head around everything that has happened in such a short tenure when, I meet everyone at these industry events that have been doing this longer than I have been alive. So it's super exciting. And I'm a mommy of 2 beautiful babies, ages 7 and 6. And I'm telling you, sometimes I don't know how I do it, but I do it and it gets done. Those are my lifelines and my reasons for everything. So, but other than that, like, I am just your average person.
Oh, this is what you call average. So you say 8 years, Vanessa, in the industry. One, you only look like you're 16. So when did you start? Fresh out of junior high school? Like, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I just turned 30 in January.
Come on, 30.
I'm still a baby. To everyone else, they look at me and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. I'm still a baby." But no, I think what has really kind of catapulted me in this industry is the mentorships that I've had. The people that I've been able to connect with that are just so open and honest and transparent about the information that they pass down into me. And they want to see me win. They want to see me grow. Like, this industry changes every single day. And if we don't have those open mindsets for the people that paved the way for us to pour back down into the next generation, there's no way that we can appropriately pay homage to them. So a big shout out to my mentors, because honestly, I would not be anywhere close to where I am without just like their insight and their advice and their guidance. And they've checked me. A few of them have checked me.
And that's a good mentor.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, let's do some name dropping on these mentors. Come on, let's do some name dropping. Who are they?
So I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of my 20 in their 20s relationship with Betsy Kirkpatrick with BG. And I've had the opportunity to work with Jay when we spoke in San Diego. So Jay Lopman. I've had great conversations with Mike Holmes. My current mentors, Lori Agudo and Miss Marcy French, Auntie Marcy, are currently just giving me all of the nuggets. So I take that in. I love that.
You know what? When you said Auntie Marcy, I just really came to a realization that I'm Auntie Ty.
Your auntie
I
too.
thought I was still a niece. I'm not a niece. If Marcy is an auntie, I'm a
Listen, that is like the most like respectful promotion ever. Like just to be goaded in a specific way. Like literally, I get called the baby goat, and it's funny because it's like while I respect and appreciate it, I'm just like I am nowhere near on the level of you guys, not yet. But you guys are just so open-minded to being able to just like have that open invitation of like, come learn this, come see this, come
yeah.
do this. And that's
You
the
know,
only
and
thing that's going to help this next generation grow.
And I was just going to say that from being, when you say 8 years, and I've been in the industry for over 17 years, and one, you have people on here calling me Auntie Ty, so yeah, you're right. But when, you talk about being on the stage with Jay in San Diego, and that was my first impression of you.
Yeah.
I was actually introducing on the stage that day when you were on there. And I remember them having a conversation, and I think you guys were maybe talking about pay. And if you don't like what's going on with the company, like, would you say something? Would you be vocal? And I will tell you, listening that day was so mind blowing because the younger generation, you guys are bold. You guys will take a stand. Now, I'm bold now, but I've worked my way through this industry. I know my value and I've grown up in it. So I do know my worth now. I'm not afraid to walk away. And I know that if a company misses out on an opportunity with me, then they're missing out. But when I was young in this industry, I did not know that. And I took so much to propel in this industry. So where would you say that thinking come from? Would you say that is because you're part of the younger generation that you're more bold in taking a stance, or where does that fire come from?
I think for me, like I can speak for myself where I think like most of my childhood and like a lot of my high school and just kind of my early teen years, I had a lot of identity challenges and just trying to figure out who I am. My mother is German from a color standpoint. She's white. My father's African American, Black. So, you're never white enough for the white people. You're never Black enough for the Black people. Like that's what I struggled with the entire time. I kid you not. I only figured out who I am, like my true, authentic, genuine self, like how I wake up every morning, knowing that I don't have to apologize for how I act. I'm going to speak a certain way and I'm not going to be apologetic for it. Like this is truly who I am. I swear to you, like a year and a half ago. So I don't know that it really comes from a generational stance more than it comes from just like a mindset. And there's challenges that you have to face to realize like I'm worth X, Y, and Z. No one has the power to tell me otherwise. That's something that comes from within. And for a lot of people, you just don't find it until later in life. And you have those experiences and you face that adversity, you go through those challenges and you're just like, okay, like I can fit these pieces of the puzzle together now. Like I know who I am from the most genuine place in my heart. And I'm so unapologetic about it.
You know what? And that's most important. When you know who you are, when you know the value of who you are and what you stand for, you can show up in the room. I remember when I asked you one of the things that you wanted to touch on, and we talked about being authentic. And showing up as your whole self. And I will say, every one of the ladies so far that I've interviewed in your age group, from Dana Duckworth to Ashia Shepherd, Monica Frazier, the other ladies that's part of the Melanin and Multifamily Collective, authenticity was big for everybody. Everybody, that might be the word for 2023, because all of them were on the same path as showing up as your authentic self. So what does that mean for you? Because when I see you on Facebook, I see the sleeve with the tattoos. I see Vanessa sometimes dressed up. I see Vanessa sometimes looking like she's running with the Hardy Boys. Like, I see some fun variations of Vanessa, and I love it because it shows you from more than one standpoint. Because I get it, Vanessa, I'm a pretty girl too. Let's put it out there for the pretty girls. Sometimes people don't see every side of us. And we're judged automatically just based off, oh, Vanessa's pretty. She has nice hair. She has this, that. I'm sure she has it easy out there. So why are you big on showing up as, well, everybody else is taken, but other than that, why are you big on showing up as Vanessa?
I think my biggest thing is having learned that no one can tell you about your individual experience. So the best way to clarify that is, like, if you've never been skydiving, but I have, and I'm telling you, I'm explaining to you what it's like to feel that, what, the moments feel like leading up to it, you're going to internalize that and think that you know exactly what it's like to skydive, but you will never truly know and understand and feel that until you go do it yourself. And so with that being said, my biggest thing is that, I've had some adversity. I've faced challenges, but at the end of the day, being able to show up as myself and handle them the way I did sets a pathway for how I move forward. Only I can do that. No one can tell me otherwise. No one has the power to tell me otherwise. That's a mindset that I've developed for myself. Why would you want to show up for anyone else other than yourself? And sometimes I think about it, and I think about it so deeply, and it'll send me down a rabbit hole. But why would you want to navigate life pleasing other people to fit a mold that they think that you should be within?
Yeah. Well, it's exhausting.
We all start to think the same and do the same. Like, that gets us nowhere. You're going to end up with a room full of people who think the same way. Progression's never going to happen. You're never going to be able to break that glass ceiling. And it's a lot of what I'm experiencing right now. I had a sidebar conversation with Marcy with, some challenges that I'm facing from a professional standpoint. And she's like, you got to pick what your battles are, but then you also have to understand what the perception is going to be after you vocalize, what it is that you want to vocalize. And I'm there at that place in my career. But I think what is most important is I'll never say anything to be disrespectful. I'll never say anything to, the goal is not to get people to change their mind, only to get them to be open-minded. Yeah. And if I don't share my experience and I don't offer the perception that I have of, a life that I've built, which is my own reality, people are never going to know that these experiences exist. And then we're all stagnant in our thought process.
Right. And we're all constantly code switching and not being authentic and having to show up, because I'm going to be completely honest and transparent in this moment. Being in this industry for so long, there have been moments to where Black women have not been able to show up 100% as themselves. Right. We had to show up, but then we had to switch it. I had to, if my hair was natural, maybe I did have to wear that bob cut wig when the owners were coming in. It's been times that I've taken my braids down because the owners were coming. Or I was going on a work trip and I was like, are my braids professional? But lately, you guys have been seeing me all over the world and my hair is braided now. So it goes back to the point, I think, where you made and you said it doesn't have to be with age. It's just with person that we start to know our value and we reach that point in life. So you're saying it just happened for you a year ago, and I'm saying kudos because you're 30. It just happened for me probably, I don't know, within the last few years, and I'm 41.
Right.
And now that I know what I bring, I mean, for crying out loud, I started out as a leasing agent in this industry. I've been in every seat in the house. That cannot be taught. So I know what I come with now. So now it's like, take it or love it. This is me in all my glory. I am loud. I am funny. I wear my hair braided. I love fashion. And I am showing up, and I am showing up as her. And if you don't like it, then listen, I'm good on you.
I felt your presence. I'm just thinking about San Diego, right? And we're getting mic'd up. We're all nervous, just trying to talk each other off a ledge. And you come in, hair, killing it, bright pink dress. I was like, who is she? Is she coming to watch us? And you're like, hey, sweetie, will you hand me that envelope right there? And I'm like, oh, she's going to introduce us. And it felt so good to have that representation as you being the person to introduce us, to just have your energy and like who you are. Like I have a video recording of your introduction, and it is just like, that's who you are. Like you chose to walk in that room exactly who you are. And people feel that, people notice that. And that was the same thing for us. Like we had some pushback after NAA with the things that we talked about, but that was a given. But who are we if we don't bring our experiences to the table? And just, it's not, like I said, not to change anyone's mind, but can you be a little more open-minded to the experience?
And that's the key. That's the key right there. I'm not going on tour. I'm actually on tour for 2023, and I'm teaching unconscious biases this year. And when I start out with that, the first thing I ask the class to do is to be open-minded. Just be open-minded about it. And then they realize that we all have these unconscious biases. We all are drawn to people who are like us. Mm-hmm. And so this is the time when I left AOD last year, when we left, Dana and Monica and Monique and Ashia and we were like, okay, this is the time for Black women. This is the time within NAA. I love you, NAA. I love being a part and an affiliate, but this is the time for Black women. This is the time for Black women, just being a part of it, being in a room with everybody. It felt different. Mm-hmm. It felt different. So I see that you are a diversity, equity, and inclusion champion. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit because I hear that being thrown around a lot, and I feel like we've been working on DE&I, so I must be a super champion. So what does it mean to be a champion for DE&I?
For me, it means the advocacy of people that want a place. They want a place because everyone deserves one. Everyone deserves a seat at the table, no matter what you look like, what you sound like, what your thought process is, or what your background is, what your experiences are. Like we all deserve a seat at the table. But for me, being a champion is advocating for the people that are just not in a place yet or comfortable yet to raise their hand and say, like, I want that seat. So because I have just kind of gone on faith and gone on a limb and have created my own table, I'm pulling up seats left and right. That's what it means for me to allow someone to come into this space who just may not feel comfortable doing it on their own yet. Like I firmly believe that like I'm supposed to be doing this. Like I'm supposed to be sharing these experiences and just my thought process and creating people seats who just are scared to pull theirs up or are scared to walk in to a table where they don't have a seat and they just look at the table and say like, I don't fit here. Well, I'm going to insert myself there. I need you to like spread your chairs apart, like make room for my chair. I'm going to sit right here and like, let's talk.
Because you know me, I just sit on the table sideways like this and just make me a seat. Or like James said, I love it. I heard James was on a podcast with Ashia and Marcy, and he said something about a folding chair. Mm-hmm. Bring your picnic chair, bring your that lawn chair that you keep in the back of your car. So when you pull up, you always know you got a seat. Keep that lawn chair with you. Tuck it in your mind, guys. Keep that lawn chair with you because when you get somewhere and there's not a seat at the table for you, guess what? I brought my own chair. Mm-hmm. Just scoot over a little bit. And when you have people like Vanessa and we're going to make sure people scoot over so you can get into that table and you can have a seat at it. Yeah. So personal branding, Vanessa. What is the brand? Is Vanessa the brand? What you work for Lincoln Properties, but who is Vanessa? What is the brand?
I am the brand. I've created I've created my own brand at this point. But why not? Why not? Like, yes, I work for Lincoln Property Company, which has an amazing set of core values, but who are you when you're not in the office? Like, what work are you putting in? What are your own personal core values? Like, what does your own branding look like? And I feel like my story has kind of created a brand of my own, just because you don't get people who have a background the way that I have my specific background, and you don't see them in these roles. You don't see them in these seats. You don't see them, advocating for others. You don't see them gaining these opportunities that I've been able to gain. So, when I look at personal branding, absolutely, I represent my company. I represent my local affiliate. I represent the NAA. But before all of that, I'm representation of myself and what I've gone through and what I've triumphed from. And for me, that is just being successful on my own terms, having achieved my own goals, while achieving the ultimate goal, which is being a mother.
Definitely. And which you do so well because your children are super beautiful. Having a 6 and 7 year old, I know all too well because I have a kindergartner. And so we all know the struggle. Oh, you saw the video.
Listen, that about took me out. I was like, but is he wrong?
I'm like, well, I didn't say that. Yes, you did, Mama. I said, these kids will tell you. So what does motherhood, because before I even get into that question with you, because I know what motherhood looks like for you, but before we share with the audience what motherhood looks like for you, I am married and I have 2 parents in the household with me and Tidy. Mm-hmm. And I am a career woman who travels a lot. I work a lot. I'm the AE for the association. I have Ty Jackson Enterprise. I'm a speaker and all these other things that I do. And it is hard. Mm-hmm. It is hard to balance that sometimes, even with having a husband. Like today, I'm on the podcast with you. I'm getting off. I'm going to dinner with the board. Tidy is at after school care. I'm calling my husband like, hey, are you going to be able to pick him up? But if I didn't have that support system, mm-hmm. What does that look like? A day in the life. How does motherhood look like for Vanessa?
Well, for starters, no one can ever get a hold of me because I'm occupied with everything under the sun. But it's really, if you want something bad enough, you'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. And you'll make a way to make it happen. Those who know me know how I feel about time and how important time is to me. And I truly believe it's one of the most valuable things that we have, simply because you have no idea what it looks like from moment to moment. You can't bank on, okay, I'll do that next week. Do you get a next week? So for me, it's just having a balancing act with my time, making sure what I give my time to and my energy to is not disruptive to my peace, allows me to have my schedule work efficiently and effectively. And I choose to remain in environments that make me happy and, have me operating from a place of love and light versus like distress and just like disruption and all of that. But from day to day, like I get my kids up, I take them to school, which is, I'm super grateful for the small moments, being able to drop them off and, give them a kiss on the cheek and tell them I love them. Like those moments, like fill my cup tenfold over and over and will keep me pushing through whatever it is I have for the day. But I go to work, I get them. Lucky enough for me, I live 5 houses down the street from my parents. So they get on the bus and go to my parents' house, but I get them after. And, during the week, it is literally like dinner. We have practices 3 days a week, 4 days a week. At this point, my daughter is moving up in gymnastics. So we'll go to practice 4 days a week. We're coming home at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. We're showering. We're going to bed. And we do it all over all the time.
That, for anybody that's listening that is not a mom, I don't want to say to you, but it's a lot of work. Homework is a lot of work. Mm-hmm. I mean, and Tidy is in kindergarten. The way that they're adding math problems today is a whole
my own ability. Sometimes I'm like, honey, I can't help you with this. I stare at financials all day. I make my clients so much money, but I can't help you with this.
Exactly. I cannot help you with this. And the reason that I asked the question about motherhood is because from being in this industry is majority women. Mm-hmm. The majority are moms. And I've come up with some great ladies in this industry. Michelle Childers is one of them with Chadwell Supply. Anybody that knows me and knows my journey in this industry knows that she has been a huge part of it when I was a Find a Girl, and she's still a huge part of it today because she's constantly mentioning my name in rooms that I'm not privy to get into or haven't been invited into yet. And I just remember one conversation with her, and she said she was taking her daughters to New York. They were in high school. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, you're taking your kids to New York. And she looked at me and she was like, Ty, I miss so much time though with my kids. She was like, I work so much. And when I was having a coaching session myself with Melissa D. White, and she asked me about my wins, and I remember one of my wins was reading my baby a book that week. Mm-hmm. And it's because of how busy I am with work. So when you're trying to build your career, because you're 30, so you're in a spot where you're really building right now. And you're also having to be mindful that you're raising children too. Mm-hmm. That is a lot. And you're doing it as a single parent and you're 30.
Yeah. It's listen, no day is easy. I'll get the occasional pushback from my kids about how, something's unfair or you can't make this happen. And listen, I get it, but I've just adopted a mindset where I'm just like really big into gratitude and helping them understand, like, I can't give you every single explosive moment that you want to have, but I can give you as many micro moments as possible to let you know, like, I'm still your mother. I still care for you. I still love for you. I hear you. I understand you, like all of the things. So that's why I pay really close attention to, like, sitting at my son's basketball practice and my daughter lays down in my lap, like, and just kind of, stroking her hair and giving her those moments. Or same thing with my son. When he just like, hey, can I come snuggle with you for a second? Yep, 100%. Absolutely. You have to create those micro moments and understand that, they're just not in a mindset to fully understand, but with what they will always remember and what they will always respect is your presence in those moments. Even if we come home, we've got 30 minutes till the sun goes down, we're kicking a soccer ball, we're bouncing a basketball. I'm not on my phone. I'm fully engaged with them, fully present with them. Like I'll go do chalk with my daughter in the driveway. You just learn and you gravitate toward this mindset that a bunch of little moments are still just as powerful as those explosive moments that they feel. Trust me when I say the explosive moments are chaotic, because I think like 2 weekends ago at this point, both my kids had big events at the same time. And yes, I'm calling in recruitments all over. Like, I need you to come and support this kid. I need you to come and support this kid. And I'm literally going to start here. I'm going to drive 90 miles per hour down the highway, which is exactly what I did, to make both of these happen. So like each kid gets 50%.
That's right.
But we remember that. I remember my son, he had 2 games. He had one at noon and potentially another one if they won at 1. I knew they were going to win the one at noon. Well, my daughter started gymnastics at 12:30. And, my son, that second game, they were playing the number 1 seed. And I was like, surely this will kind of like be the end. I don't have to stay for this one. And something told me to stay. He had the best game he had all season and he's checking for me. And at the end of it, he looks over and he's like, cool, just want to make sure you were still here. I want to make sure you saw that. And I like waved my dad. I was like, boom, I got to go. I saw it. Tell him to text me when he gets in the car. I'm 90 down the highway, just in time for me. Like, I'm trying not to get emotional, just in time for me to walk into my daughter's gymnastics meet and like have her look up and boom, I was there. And she's like, hey, Mom. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, sometimes I don't know how I do it, but you really do make time for the things that you want to make time for. And I think if all the people who know me, if there's one thing that they will say is that I show up. And like at that point, like you feel so just happy and empowered to be around people who bring you joy and bring you comfort and bring you peace. Like comfort is, listen, you can't put a price tag on how comfortable you feel around your people. And that's what it is for me. Like, you find a way to show up for the things that you want to show up for and be present for.
You're a smart lady at 30, Vanessa. You
know?
are a smart lady. Dana Duckworth says, "Oh, Vanessa, you are doing amazing."
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, and I get it, getting emotional about it because it's an emotional topic when you're trying to pave your way and break barriers and take other women on your back and make a seat at the table. But you're also trying to be a mom, you're trying to be a family member. It's a lot. We have a lot on us. So with all of this, with everything that Vanessa does for everybody else, when there is Vanessa's time, when there is time to unwind, when there is time to get loose, when there is time to be happy, what does that look like for Vanessa?
Oh, honestly, I am like,
Honestly.
I told Evan Happel this when we were on Boss Talks. Like, I am such a balanced extrovert, introvert like situation. I can turn it on and I can be around people. It doesn't bother me, but when I get by myself, I am a whole turtle in a shell, just like give me a book, give me candles, give me a bottle of wine, like phone going on do not disturb, don't talk to me. Like, I'm just there in my element. Like, I'm really big on just like reading and finding the things that kind of bring me peace and bring me, like, give me back my power in terms of feeling like I'm in control. Because it happens, you get so busy and it's like, where did I lose control of this situation? It feels very much organized chaos all the time, but that's like something that really centers me. That, and just like time with my people, time with people that make me happy and kind of can bring me back to that realignment, that recenter and refocusing myself. Like that's what I live for.
So what is a good book for Vanessa? What kind of books do we read?
I'm really big into like the self-healing, self-help type books. I actually just finished with something that everyone should read. It's called The 4 Agreements. And it's just life. Oh my gosh. It's just
so life. 4 Agreements is the name of it. Okay.
Is the name of it. And right now I'm reading Finding Me by Viola Davis. I am a fangirl, and that is, her story is amazing. I girl crush, maybe just a little bit.
You know what? So NAA, let me put this out there to y'all. Remember when she was at Apartmentalized?
Oh yeah.
I took a whole picture with her.
So did I.
I want my picture. I want my picture.
I'm glad to know you didn't get yours, because
no.
I remember that was my 20 in their 20s year. So we all got to sit front row. I'm freaking out. I'm hyperventilating. And the company that I worked for at the time, like one of our leadership members, he's like, "Do you want to go back there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, yes, I want to go back there." I took a picture with her. I don't care if we had a partition. I want that picture of her in her purple jumpsuit set. I need it. I need that.
That's the same way I feel. I want my picture. So y'all have 2 of us out there who have not received their pictures. We will be Jen, we will be tapping you on the shoulder at Apartmentalized looking for those photos. So my friend Monique Nathan out there, she says she's reading Finding Me too. So maybe that's something I'm gonna have to check out. I'm always down for a good book and anything that advances me, self-help, healing, because that's definitely the direction that I'm walking in.
Yeah. Her story is amazing, and it's real and it's authentic. And it brings me back to when we watched her speak and just how, she gave everything with such a moment of clarity, such a moment of like, I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. I'm going to shoot it to you straight. And that is everything in her book. Like, everything from her childhood. The first chapter, oh my gosh, I was screaming. I was laughing so hard. But the way that she pulls everything in full circle and just like really challenges you to think about some of the situations that you're in and how you navigate those and just how you maneuver life in general. And you read that first chapter and it's like, I cannot believe it's this woman on these platforms doing these things. And it brings it back to me. Like, I look at, I didn't have a bad childhood. Everyone goes through, your own specific childhood traumas. You learn about them later in life. For me, I didn't learn about them until I had children. And I was like, I didn't like the way that happened. And you
Right.
want to fix those. You heal from those, and you start gravitating to a level of life that you choose to live, with the understanding that one day my kids are going to come back to me. They're going to be like, "Hey, mom, I didn't like how you did that," and I'm going to be like, "Okay, well, I healed my own traumas. I did what I could with what I have. Like, I'll be accountable for that, and like, let's go get you the healing that you need as well." Like, but I don't have, when I think about like my high school years and just like early 20s, I wasn't living a life that you would think I have now. My options were dead or in jail, if we're being quite honest, from just some of the choices that I made at the time. And but it's all about how you choose to pick yourself up from that, how you would choose to adjust and adapt from the environment that you're in. But also, what people don't understand is like, hurt people. Like, go heal yourself. Go take the time that you need to grow from that situation and elevate from that situation, before you start to like dive too deep into other things. And that's exactly what I did. I had an opportunity to realize what my fullest potential was. And I mean, I'm 30 years old now, but like I told you, I just figured out who I was like a year and a half ago, and more so solidified that. It's no secret. I called off my 4-year relationship last year, and called off my engagement. And I think that for me was just a moment where I was just like, you chose yourself. Like, you did everything that you have worked for, and you took a moment to choose yourself and understand that there was more of me that I needed to go through and grow through and develop from. And how unfair of me would it be to enter into a partnership with someone while I'm still navigating these pieces of myself that I don't even quite understand yet. And I think
it's some good stuff, Vanessa. Usually when I'm interviewing people, they cannot get me to be quiet. I'll do like 60% of all the talking. You actually have me listening today. I'm like, no, this is some good stuff.
I've lived like the most weirdest experiences at 30, and they're like, "You're 30, you went through all of that," and I'm like, was I not supposed to? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, kind of. You said something very profound. Healing from childhood trauma, teenage trauma, past traumas. I'm gonna lean into the camera because I want to get close and personal with everybody so they understand this. No matter what kind of life you had, we all have trauma. Mm-hmm. Heal and deal. So you can have the best adult life. So you can be the best girlfriend to somebody. You can be the best wife to somebody, the best mother to somebody, because those things, you're being transparent, which in return is leaking out over here and making me say more things about my own self that I'm supposed to be getting out of you. But this was very profound for me with childhood traumas. So in the 7th grade, I tried out for cheerleading and I didn't make it. Nobody told me, work harder, try again, go up for it again. So I shied away from things that I felt like I wasn't good at. Y'all gonna make me cry my lashes off. So this is what I do when I'm on the phone with Melissa. I just cry the whole time. So it took me to get married, and that was in my early 30s. And my husband said, "You're a quitter." And I was so offended. I was like, I am successful. I don't quit at things. Like, how do you think I made it this far if I'm such a quitter? And he was like, "No, you are. Even if it's something small as the remote control and you can't find it." He was like, "You will quit." And I thought about it and I was like, when I don't think that I'm good at something, or I don't think that it's going to go all the way, I will quit. Mm-hmm. The moment I noticed that, though, I stopped doing it. Mm-hmm. And I have propelled so much in my career now. I have been at my job for so much longer. I have been on the same path for so much longer because I wasn't afraid when something happened. I wasn't like, "Oh, you got to quit this." Now I'm a speaker that's standing on international stages in the Bahamas. I'm booking gigs here, and my fear does not get in front of me and say, okay, do you think you're going to be able to do that? And then I quit before I get started.
Mhm.
So deal with them past traumas, people,
You have to.
so we can heal from
You
that.
have to. I just told a young lady in a course that I facilitated last week. We were talking about the core value.
Sure, I got to have a drink behind that one.
We were talking about the core value of empowerment, and she said what her thoughts were behind that. And I just kind of explained to her that we're responsible for our own limitations. We place those on ourselves with the expectation of, I can't because I failed before, or
Yeah.
I can't because I'm not there yet. And we place just this barrier on ourselves. We absolutely do it to ourselves. And but the thing is it's a mindset, right? It's all a mentality of what you feel. And it kind of goes back to like knowing what your value is. It's all a mentality about how you feel about yourself. And until you heal, you work on that inner growth, you work on your mindset, you challenge your own status quo within yourself. The best thing that you can do in that situation is then rely on the people around you to help you remove those barriers, help you shatter that glass ceiling, because they can see things that you can't.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, these limitations, it's just a mindset. That's all that it is. Like, it's literally all that it is. And until you break that bubble, you're not going very far until you do that inner work and you understand who you are. And I think that is something that I've worked so heavily on this past year. Like I said earlier, I know exactly who I am every day that I wake up in the morning. I don't have to worry about who's getting the authentic version of me, because everybody is. Yeah. And it is, 100% complete. It's unapologetic. And it doesn't mean that I can go out here and say exactly what I want to say 24/7 and do exactly what I want to do. But it means that I have a complete self-awareness of myself, that each person is getting the most unique, genuine, peaceful, like you're getting a place from the depths of my soul that I did not have before. And
well, you know what? And I think when you're walking, and I think when you're walking in that space, you realize the huge responsibility that you do have when you said, I know I can't go out here and say anything. I know I can't do anything. You realize the responsibility. You realize that you can say whatever you want to say as long as you use the right words. Words matter, because either we're the first person in the room or we're the last person in the room. And I think that's the responsibility that I take with me. And it goes back to personal branding. With my brand, I hear some people say sometimes about their social media platform, well, it's my page. Well, yeah, it is my page, but I have a responsibility to my people. And I have a responsibility to other Black women that are entering into the rooms that I'm coming in, that are coming behind me. And I don't want to wreck the situation so nobody else will be able to be the AE over Arkansas. Right. I don't want to show up to a speaking engagement and I'm the last Black woman to ever be able to stand on that stage. So that's why personal branding is important to me, and the responsibility is there, because there's a lot of other people depending on the things that we are doing today to open up doors for them in the future.
Absolutely. It's bringing that next person up. Like you said, understanding the responsibility that you have, even though nobody may have explained to you the responsibility that you have. It's just a complete self-awareness, to be able to show up in the most genuine state, have the most self-awareness possible, which and emotional intelligence, that's hard, but we need that too. Because man, I tell you, I say the things I really be wanting to say all the time. Like I wouldn't be sitting here with you, but it's just knowing your environment. It's knowing that there's a time and a place for everything, and just having that complete understanding of like, you can still get your point across. You can still say what it is that you need to say, but it's all about how you do it, the environment that you do it within, and the respect and the intention that comes behind what it is that you're projecting. But
definitely,
I wake up like okay, we're gonna do it today all over again. I'm gonna continue to be a great mother. Eventually, I'm gonna be somebody's bomb wife,
Boom,
and
boom. You are. So wait a minute before, because we're almost at the top of the hour. Like we're literally 16 minutes away from this call being over. I want to touch on, well, one thing I want to tell you. Thank you for sharing. Life was different for you before. That you could have been in a jail cell. You could have been dead. And I want to let you know that I could have been your cellmate. Okay? I could have been
lit. I know that.
Now, for the people out there listening, we ain't killed nobody. We ain't robbed no bank, okay?
No record.
But I definitely, and to be honest with you, I pride myself on that. When I say I'm a girl from the streets, I'm not a girl. I didn't have a bad upbringing either. I had a good upbringing, a good mom who took care of us. I come from a single parent household. So anything that I did were choices that I made on my own, just from running with this crowd or that crowd. But I have definitely, when I go back and I watch some of these shows, Women in Jail and Conspiracy, and I be like, Lord, that could have been me. I done took a message for somebody. I was in a car with somebody. I was just being young and in a place where I had no business. Not that I was doing the crime, just the people that I was involving myself with or the places that I was in. Mm-hmm. So because I was able to escape that life, I think that's what lets me know really that God did have a purpose for me and does have a purpose for me. And it's a part of who I am. Now I know that it had to happen. When, some of my friends, I didn't go to college or anything like that. I'm just a girl out here with a high school diploma and a whole lot of work ethic. And that's what brought me up, but that's where I learned and that's where I got my experiences from. And that's why I can relate to people. So now that I can sit back and I look at it, I'm like, okay, it had to happen. Yeah. My story had to happen exactly how it did because the people that God wants me to save and that he wants me to come face to face with, I had to go through that in order to even connect with them. In order for them to even hear me, it had to be like, oh, this is a girl who came from here and decided one day that she wanted something more in life and pulled her own self up and just made it. And that's exactly what my story is, and that's who I am. So I do still live by a street code, though. I'm loyal. I don't play like that. So, Vanessa, before we get off of here, we know what you are doing now. But what is the future? What is the plan? Where are we going? What are our goals?
Oh, man. I don't love this question. I may not be able to share with you specifics, okay. But I will share that I always firmly believe I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be at the exact time that I'm supposed to be there. And I may not have like all the kinks worked out. I can't tell you that I want to follow the traditional path of like ARPM and RPM and VP and all of these things simply because I have a very clear understanding of who I am and what my potential is. And the cards may not align for me to go that route. But I do feel a duty to continue to share everything that I've been through, create potential for people that don't know their own. And so whatever leads me in that pathway is where I'm going. But I will say, I probably won't be in the multifamily capacity forever. I know. I've got thoughts. But this isn't it. It doesn't mean I can't operate from this capacity in some way, shape, or form.
That's right.
But I'd say like in the next 5 years, I won't be out of sight. There's something bigger for me.
Hey, and you know what? And I see it. I see that there's something bigger for you. I mean, I also see that you're a speaker. I've heard you on stage before. So live outside of the box.
I have to.
Dare to be different.
I wore Jordans on that national stage. Like there is no box for me.
I've been wearing Jordan 1s ever since too. Their part. Yes.
I've heard that so many times. They're like, well, did you see Vanessa did it? Vanessa wore Jordans on the national stage. And I'm like, not too loud.
So when change happens with Vanessa, and one of the things I just know Vanessa, guys, from social media and from meeting her the one time in California, you would think from the tears and the laughs that we have shared today that we have been knowing each other for a while. But one of the things that I told you, and I have to say it before we get off of here, I realized when you cut your hair. What usually when a woman cuts her hair, that is, and when you cut it, I was like, come on, sis, come through. Because you cutting it shorter just gave you a little bit more sass. And it added an extra flair to you, but it told me that something big was getting ready to happen or something had happened. So what was that all about?
Oh. So let's talk about which time I cut my hair though, because the very first time, it was very much like me calling off my engagement and just feeling like it's a lack of control. It's a feeling, it's a response mechanism, quite honestly, to feel like, okay, I have control of something, I can control my hair. Like, and that's really all I got right now. And so it's so funny because I originally cut it in my bathroom sink and called my friends afterwards, had a ponytail in my hair. Like you guys, I don't know what happened, but I probably got to get this fixed. When I went to my stylist, which she has now forgiven me, and Liz, I'll never do it again. I am so sorry. But I went to go see her and she had to fix it. So it got even shorter. And, but honestly, it was a feeling of being able to feel like I had control of something in a situation where I didn't. Like I just uprooted my life from literally one day to the next. But what that did for me is just let me know, there's nothing I can't come back from. Like I came back from me cutting my hair in a sink. And there's nothing that you can't pull yourself out of. There's no mindset that you can't shift and just realign and refocus. But I think the biggest thing for me is just understanding that like appearance, hair, like all of these minute things that just like don't matter, don't really dictate who it is that I am. At the end of the day, you know, I've never commented on the situation of calling off my wedding and like all of these things that have happened kind of publicly and concurrently. I don't comment on them simply because at the end of the day, I sleep at night. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly what happened. And there's nothing, I relate that back to saying like, there's no physical characteristic about me that will truly define who it is that I am. It's just hair. It's going to grow back.
I love it. Yes.
But at the end of the day, I have the power to control what I put out to the world, what I exude and what I project. And I will do that so freely and so openly and so apologetically, because at this point in my life, I'm no longer the girl that can't figure out who I am and what my identity is and where I fit in. If I'm not fitting in anywhere, I'm probably not meant to be there. And if I'm honestly fitting in somewhere too much, I'm not being myself and I'm not being unique to my standards. And so, yeah, I cut my hair. I'll let you know before I have the next mental breakdown and do it again.
But we'll have to do a small segment on here, and so we can just drop it live on Talking with Ty. That Vanessa is about to have another one. She's about to cut her hair off again, guys. Let's tune in because it needs to drop right here first. So
I don't hope for too many of those. And quite honestly, life is great. I'm so happy. I'm just in this amazing place within my career, within my family, my friends. Everything that I'm involved in is moving forward in some way, shape, or form or capacity. First and foremost, obviously, like I thank God for, my opportunities and just the opportunity to wake up every single morning and be who I am and do what I do. And I'm not moving off of that anytime soon. There's so many other things coming. Yes.
You know what? You exude happiness. I can tell that you're in a great spot just from following you on social media, what you put out to the world. It shows that. Even when I've come in contact with you, every time I talk to you, even though you keep calling me Miss Ty, I don't know what that is all about. Like I'm not
My
your.
dad was military, so it's just everyone's a miss and everyone's a mister. And
I'm like, so Vanessa just gonna keep making me feel like TT, Miss Ty.
Okay,
I'm like,
it sounds like you
girl.
got a promotion today to Auntie Ty, so that's what we're rolling with.
That's what we rolling with. So, congratulations on the NAA Excellence Award finalist.
Thank you.
That is so amazing. I'm telling y'all, when I say y'all, I just mean young Black women out there. Y'all are rocking it out. I'm getting it from so many directions, from Dana, Monica, Ashia, Monique, and I name drop them a lot because those are the girls in my circle, and our text message group is steady. Hey, this, that, Leadership Lyceum. I'm like, jeez.
Yes,
you guys are.
I'm keeping up
the
with
next
everybody.
gen.
Yes, it is a beautiful thing. No matter what happens, like Aishia and I are on the same platform for Emerging Leader of the Year, and you've got Dana and you've got Monica. No matter what happens, like I don't even know that sometimes I can really wrap my head around the level of representation that we are putting out there that has never been done before. Those women are amazing. I've had the opportunity to hear all of them speak in some way, shape, form, capacity, and I am just blown away at how, encouraging they are to one another and just like supportive. And like, this is truly a win for all of us on
all of us. Yeah. I mean, it started with Michelle Obama being classy in the White House, and then it just trickled down to the rest of us. So, I mean, this is truly a win. I definitely am going to have to follow up with you and Marcy. I'm putting this out there right now. Marcy French, put us on your calendar. You, me, and Vanessa Grayson are going to have another conversation, because she and I had a conversation similar in the Bahamas about being biracial. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes as Black women, we get stuck over here. Sometimes as white women, Hispanic women, everybody is stuck in their own corner, but nobody is realizing where is the place for the people that are multicultural.
Difficult.
But until I had the conversation with Marcy, guess what? I didn't realize that, because I'm going to tell you, and we've been having moments of transparency all through the conversation. When a Black woman, I'm going to say me, when I look at a woman, no, I wouldn't say me, because I wouldn't think that now. Let me rephrase. I wouldn't think that. We wouldn't think that it's a difficult space, though. And I think it's because of maybe jobs. If it was Vanessa and Ty back in the day for a property manager position at a luxury property, Vanessa probably would have got that job over me. Because that's a time where being multicultural would have gotten you in the door faster.
Right.
So I don't think we realize, because we probably have always seen it as an easy street. She has good hair. We're not realizing all the work that it takes, especially Marcy with all them curls, to even tame that hair and do something with it. We're just looking at it like, that's what society has put in women over and over again to make us competitors. That's one of the things that Beyonce even talks about. That's my homegirl. But one of the things that B even talks about is, making us competitors and making a darker woman feel, because when you talk about slavery, and that equates to me being in the field and you working in the house. So we don't know the struggle. So that is a conversation that definitely needs to be had. And we will use this platform to share that. And that's a conversation that I'm going to bring Marcy in on, so I can be quiet and learn. And you guys can really use the platform, and we have that dialogue, so we all understand that just because you're light-skinned or biracial, it's still hard out here. Yeah. It's still things that you have to go through, or like you said, not white enough, I'm not Black enough, I'm too Black, I'm too white. That's exhausting. And it has to be.
It is.
So we will definitely revisit that conversation. So before we cut off, because 1 minute away from the top of the hour, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and staying on with us. Vanessa, Grayson, and I have had the talk today on Talking with Ty. Before we leave, Vanessa, is there anything, lay it all on the table, anything you want to leave and say to the people?
Gosh, go give the world your 100% authentic, genuine self, because the world deserves it and you deserve to operate from that standpoint. And I promise you, it is the most beautiful thing that you'll ever experience in your life.
You heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first. Vanessa, Grayson, thank you. Vanessa, you have been amazing. You have been honest. You have been open. Talking with Ty is a lifestyle platform. It is about the person behind the brand. And you definitely share with us. We both had a moment today. I appreciate your transparency and your honesty. And I look forward to seeing you again. When is the next time that us on a national level, when will we see Vanessa again?
Oh, so as much as I want to be in Washington, D.C. here soon, I will not be there, but I will be at Apartmentalize in ATL in June. And then I will be at Assembly of Delegates in San Diego as well later this year. So there's some connection points there, and I'm excited to see all of the people that I've missed so much that give me life. I cannot wait.
So before we go, real quick, will we see you on the stage at Apartmentalize?
We will not be seeing me on the stage at Apartmentalize this year. I know.
Well, I won't be on the stage either. So
listen, I've gotta learn what my balance is and what needs my attention and my energy and focus. This year is about supporting my people and seeing my people and just reestablishing those connections. I think last year there was so much to get prepared for, and like it was a lot. So this year we're gonna keep it cute. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna show my face. And I'm excited to go represent and see everyone. I missed everyone so much, and we'll be there for Excellence Awards, and I'm excited for that as well.
You dropped them good nuggets. You don't even know it when you dropping them, but you drop them. That was good right there. You said having a balance and knowing when it's your time to just support. Mm-hmm. It's not my time to get an award. It's not my time to be in this group. It's not my time to be on the stage. It's my turn to be in the audience. Mm-hmm. It's my turn to cheerlead. It's my turn to root on. That's exactly where I am this year. You know, all of my friends, they're Leadership Lyceum, they're finalists for this award and that award. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, no, not this year, not for me. Yeah. But I'm going to be there, and I'm going to cheerlead, and I'm going to show up in my suit and my 4-inch heels, honey. And I'm with my big hair. Let me put all of that out there. And I'm going to root them on, because you got to know when it's your turn to be a cheerleader. High five to the cheerleaders. I will be cheerleading with you at Apartmentalize this year. I cannot wait to see you and just to hug and love on you in person, and always know behind the scenes that I am rooting for you. If there's anything that I ever can do to propel your multifamily career, your speaking career, or anything else that you have going on that you did not drop today, that's going to happen in the future, please let me know, and know that you have an ally in me. Vanessa, thank you so much, and you have an amazing evening.
Thank you. You too, Ty.
Thank you. Bye-bye.